Darren Fry with Water Street Solutions, our guest today. Darren, as we talk about inflationary pressure, that continues to be something that we're watching super closely. The latest consumer price index puts the rise at a 40-year high dating back to 1982. I mean, this is a big concern, especially on the farm. But is there any upside potential here?
I really think there is. The feds keep saying they have it under control. They're going to make the 3 rate hikes here in 22. But man, did they wait too long? Every time this flywheel goes around like on an engine, there's just more momentum. And I really see that inflation is going to have an effect, a positive effect on prices in the ag markets. And when you take a look at what's happening with the U.S. dollar, you would think higher interest rates would bring a higher U.S. dollar, a lower euro when you compare the two. But what's happening is the charts over the last few days have started signaling that the dollar might be trying to move lower, not higher anymore. And the euro's trying to bottom. So if that is the case, I think that's even going to make it more difficult for the feds to get ahead of this. And we could really see an inflationary boom here in commodities in the first 2 quarters of 22.
Yeah, so talk me through from a farmer's standpoint, what do I need to be looking for as indicators, and what are the keys to watch?
Well, I think a lot of it is just the prices are going to continue to do things that we don't expect. Right now we're looking at trading South American weather, and there's a rain event coming, and then is it hot and dry after that? But, if you go back and said, let's say we had the same fundamentals as 2012, beans went to 1789, corn 843. If that same thing took place today, but with this inflationary backdrop, what would that mean for prices? Well, it would mean cheaper prices. It would mean even higher prices. And so I think it's hard to trade markets sometimes when we have new additions like this inflationary tailwind. And so I think producers need to understand that. The other thing is input costs probably aren't going to back off. I know a lot of people are waiting to purchase because they've gotten so high. But at the end of the day, they might stay high right through spring as we get the acres we need and we start the 22 season. So if a guy can get those locked in, get them delivered, get them on your farm, that's one thing that we're urging our clients to do. Price might come down, but it might not until after the crop's planted.
Yeah, so many things to watch and so many moving parts. Of course, nothing is necessarily normal this time around. So a lot of new things to keep an eye on. Darren, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much
for
having me. Back with
more
Ag Day coming up in just a minute.
For marketing strategy specific to your operation, contact Water Street Solutions at 866-249-2528 or online at www.waterstreet.org.